Do y'all have to
All right, here we go. What's that, Victoria?
say? Do y'all do that? Does someone come out and do their shoes?
Yeah, we do. So, hey, we're here with the Hidden Threads podcast.
Howdy.
Victoria's asking me about horses. She said, "Does somebody come out and do their shoes?"
That's not the way to ask it.
Hey, this is a podcast about private investigations and other stuff. So this is the other stuff part.
Yes.
Yes, we do have a farrier that comes out and does
Farrier.
and clips their feet and puts shoes on them and those kind of things.
Do they have to drug them up for the feet?
No.
Oh.
So when they're sometimes they do. So our horse has been trained to lift his feet up since he was a baby. So no. But hey, I promise this is the Hidden Threads podcast.
Let's get back to it.
This is Mackie. I got my Iwo Jima shirt on. I'm ready to go.
Whoop, whoop.
Victoria, what do you think about today?
I think it's a beautiful day to do a podcast.
We're in North Alabama and it's snowing outside.
It is pretty bad weather. It's not that beautiful of a day.
It's really cold. The wind's rocking, and there's snow coming. But we're inside next to the fire.
It is warm.
Yeah, got the
Feels so
fire
good.
going in the old country office here.
Yeah.
Victoria said she would never leave this place.
This is like a quality home
Yeah,
that we're in.
So one day, if we get some weather, we'll do it walking around the building and show people around.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the farm animals. All right.
back on topic. So we're going to talk about two cases today. One has to do with a child pornography case, which nobody likes to talk about, but we're going to talk about some intricate parts of this case that are problematic for the police.
Yeah.
Right. And then the second part, we're going to get into Antonio Gerardo, which we've done one on him, but we're going to get into it a little more.
That was our first episode. It was a little
First
rocky.
episode, a little rocky,
Yeah.
but we're dialed in today.
That's right. I know that's
We
right.
are dialed in. With a dramatic stare at the camera. But anyway, we are dialed in now. We're going to get into him a little bit because there's a hearing coming up. I had to submit some stuff the other day. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
But yeah, let's get into, what was the name we were going to call this guy?
Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson. We're going to say this happened in Georgia
Okay.
just to keep things clean. How about that?
I like
All
it.
right. So Mr. Thompson he's an older guy, lives out in the country, retired guy, right? And him and his wife, they just kind of hang out with grandchildren. They help with the grandchildren a lot, take them to school, those kind of things, pick them up from school,
Yeah.
do grandparent-like things, right?
Mhm.
And so his his daughter-in-law came to him one day and said, "Hey, I want this piece of land that you've got. I want 2 acres of it. You just give it to me." All right.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Thompson said that if any other of his his children's wives or husband would have asked, he'd have said yes. But
Yeah.
he did not like this woman in particular. Okay. She had been very demanding of him. He suspected that she had been having an affair for quite some time. And he said no to her. So she pitched a fit
Mhm.
and started being real mean to him, not letting him see the grandchildren, all these things.
Mhm.
All right. So fast forward a little bit. Mr. Thompson sat in a home and a police officer comes in the home with a warrant and takes his phone.
Mhm.
How about that?
Woo!
What do you think so far, Victoria?
I think it's getting a little sticky in here.
A little sticky?
Yeah.
Is it getting hot?
It's getting a little hot in here.
All right. So, yeah, that's a problem if you're Mr. Thompson, if you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So, the police officer takes this phone, does his own extraction. Now, an extraction is where you get the phone and you pull all the data off of it out of existing data and what's been in what we call slack space or deleted data. Okay. It's just there to be overwritten. And he comes up with a ton of photos of a little girl with her privates. Okay. All right. If Mr. Thompson did this, he deserves prison.
Right.
All right. Now, I get hired by the defense attorney to take a look at this phone. All right. And I was going to do my own extraction and to see what's on there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we called the DA's office, and the DA's office has their own investigator, the one that did the extraction.
Mhm.
He's not a digital forensic examiner by trade. He does not have that certification.
Mhm.
All right. And I said, "Hey, man, I want the judge said I could come do an extraction on this phone." He says, "You're not doing an extraction on this phone. I'm not going to allow it." I said, "Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with the guy.
Right.
Let the lawyers deal with that."
Yeah.
That's what I do. And so he tells me on the phone that There's nothing on that phone. I wouldn't be able to see it anyways. That he used Gray Key, which is a digital forensic digital tool, to pull these pornographic images off, and that nothing's showing on the phone. I said, okay, we'd have to get some digital forensic tools to verify that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, you're not doing it here. So goes back to the lawyer. Have to go to court and give a testimony. I was there for quite some time. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And talk about how this all works. So the judge allowed us to go do an extraction. Now it goes to the phone was turned into the forensics lab, the state forensics lab. No problem.
Yeah.
The state forensics lab director is all about us coming in and doing our own extraction. He wants justice served if it's warranted, right? And if the guy's innocent, he wants the guy to be let off. You know, he's a cop too.
Yeah.
And so we go down and I take my computer. We're going to do this extraction in the lab. And the agreement was that I got to use my computer and our software, Belkasoft, which we've had a whole podcast episode on if you want to go back and listen to it about Belkasoft. So I show up. This cop is there, the detective, and the forensics lab director is there. I said, okay, how are we going to do this? And the forensic lab director said, hey, Mackie, he'll use his computer and use Belkasoft. The detective had a little fit, said, no, he's not allowed to use his computer. What if he takes these images off site? Okay, I get it, but that's not going to happen. If he's concerned with that, what happens is I put the images onto an external drive, and we could have just left it there at the lab.
Mm-hmm.
They could have secured it at the lab, and the lawyers could have went and looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if that's that was what I offered. He said, nope, you cannot use your computer. I said, okay. So the forensics lab offered to let me use one of their computers. Okay, and we go to log in. It's a Windows computer from 1923.
Yep.
Did they have Windows then? Old Windows computer. I kept trying to get Belkasoft to upload on it. Would not accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the meantime, the detective lets me see this phone in question. He opens it up and starts scrolling through the pictures. There's no pictures of a little girl and her sexual parts showing. Mm-hmm. We even go to the deleted images. It's an iPhone, recently deleted or hidden. We went in both those files, none in there. Mm-hmm. But he proceeded to show me a report he has. It has over 200 pictures of a little girl's private parts. What do you think so far, Victoria?
I think that he's a liar, but we don't know that. But obviously, the device doesn't have any of the stuff that you're showing. So did you just create this report and just put the pictures in yourself? Like,
Good question.
How do we know?
So if I stabbed you with a knife, Victoria, and killed you right now.
Yes.
All right. I've never had that inkling, by the way. I like Victoria a lot. She may have wanted to kill me before.
No. That makes me feel good.
Maybe Jillian has. So anyway.
That's a separate question.
Jillian will knife you, by the way.
Yes.
Anyway, she's pretty mean. If I knifed you,
yes.
All right. Cops come. Nobody else saw it. Mm-hmm. You're dead. You can't tell them who did it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Only evidence there is a knife with my fingerprints on it. Okay. That between here and the police station, that knife is gone. Can't find it. Do you think that helps or hurts the police's case?
I would say it hurts.
Right. My defense attorney would say, "Hey, this guy didn't do. My guy didn't do it."
Right.
All right. He wasn't there when you got there, and you don't have the original evidence. So that's what we're looking at here: is where's the original evidence?
Right.
And it's no different when you're dealing with digital cases as well. So if the original evidence is gone, and that's why when you get into digital forensics classes, Victoria's dabbled in it some. She's getting ready to take a big one.
Yeah.
Is how you handle the original evidence. You cannot destroy it. You can't delete it. All these things. You have to download it onto a separate device, server, external drive, or whatever, and work on it from there. You never work on it from there.
Of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the original has to stay intact.
Yes.
For it to be proven that it came from there. And I'm not don't know what this cop did. He may have deleted it by accident when he was doing the extraction because he didn't know what he was doing.
If he's not certified with any of the forensics,
now
he probably doesn't know what he's doing.
You ready for a twist?
Yeah.
Okay. I've interviewed two people that from that area that have proof that this cop and my client's daughter-in-law were involved in a long-time affair. Wow. What do you think of that?
Wow.
Is that smell?
That's so
as we say?
That's so smelly.
Does that stink a little?
That is stinky.
And so if this comes down to it, this jurisdiction is going to look really stupid because they can't produce. Maybe they may have not have done this on purpose, but it makes them look horrible.
It does.
I don't think our guy needs to go to prison for 20 years for child porn if they cannot produce the original evidence,
right?
And not let the opposing party look at it other than what you produced yourself.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Something is incorrect about that. And then, so does the examiner who did the forensics on the phone, does he get in trouble at the end of this if it's proven?
He could. You talking about the detective?
Yeah.
Right. He could. How it should have went is he should have taken his phone directly to the forensics lab and said, "Here, check it in and let them do their thing."
Yes.
Instead, it removes him from the equation.
Right.
You know?
And him being literally involved in this affair is just like too much.
It does not look good. And so that's what we're dealing with. And I had to go testify. And I'm getting ready to write up my report today on what happened at the lab. And I have to go testify again. In my opinion, I'm not a lawyer or judge. I'd like to hear some legal experts chime in and see what you have to say. And I want to get a legal expert on here with us one day.
Yes, that'd be so nice.
I've invited several lawyers. They're just too busy.
Oh, well, that's lawyers.
They say they're busy.
Yeah.
They say they're busy, but I see them at lunch a lot and they play golf a lot.
So
I just got off the phone with one and he's in Key West deep sea fishing.
Oh my gosh. To be a lawyer.
How long you been in there? He said, I've been in there a couple months. I said, okay. But they're so busy. Anyways,
gosh, I know who you're talking about with that deep sea fishing trip. Yeah, I do.
But they're so busy. Anyways, we'll see what happens here, but it's not looking good. They would not allow me to touch the original phone and do an extraction on it.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Our computer uses Belkasoft. We do extractions every day with it. I'm looking at it right here. You might can see it in front of me if you're on TV, but it's a kind of a smelly situation in my opinion. And they should offer up that evidence. There's a thing called the Matt Walsh Act. Yes. Where you can't transmit child pornography even if it's found, like the police can't transmit it across email.
Yeah.
We weren't asking to do that. I was going to put it on an external drive and leave it there locked up and say, you have to go sign in and look at it and have a reason.
Yeah.
Cop, lawyer, judge, if they want to look at it and see what's going on. But it's a smelly situation and we'll see what happens here. But any questions on that one, Victoria?
I just hope y'all get to the bottom of the truth of it. I feel bad for the old dude if he really has not done any of that and he's getting all this stuff put on him.
He's looking at 20 years if it gets convicted of it. So we're in the part now where they see if this evidence is allowed to be presented to the jury. If it's not, their case is done.
Right.
So in my opinion, but
yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a break and we'll be back with another case in just a minute.
Sweet.
Hey, I get a lot of calls from people that say, hey, I looked on Been Verified, Scope Now, Truthfinder, White Pages, all these different sites saying, hey, I found some information on a person, but when I followed up on it, it wasn't accurate. That's because those cheap and free services give you old information. That's the bottom line. We have a service where we give you the same information, but it's real time. You get bankruptcies, divorces, criminal record, if they're a sexual predator, where they live now, current phone numbers, email addresses, usernames, all these things you get in real time. We get this information by using a TLO database that's only available to private investigators, law enforcement, and federal agencies. So if you want real data now and talk to a real investigator now to get information that you need to move forward with your life, please give us a call, 866-910-7499, or you can click the link and fill out your information. That's 866-910-7499, or click the link and fill out your information. We want to help you with real-time data to help you move forward with your life. Everybody, we're back, and this is Mackie with the Hidden Threads podcast for part 2. And I started with the camera right on Victoria.
Oh, did you?
Say hi.
Hey.
We are not scripted here, are we, Victoria?
No.
We have we plan out what we're going to talk about, and then it kind of goes from there.
Yes.
Our minds wander.
A little free talking.
Yeah, a little free talking.
Yeah.
What do you call that in poetry?
Well, in comedy, it's improv, right?
Improv, in comedy, poetry. I don't know.
I don't know poetry.
I forget the name of it. Anyways, here we go. We're back at part 2. We're going to talk about the Loretta Carr case, which we're heavily involved in. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that a little bit. Some of y'all don't know about it. You can look it up online. The victim in this case was Beth Isabel, Beth Isbell. There's not an A in there, but it's Isbell. Her remains were found at the Little River Canyon National Park by a search team on June 28, 2023. Okay.
Yeah.
She had allegedly been pushed off of this cliff and she died. Okay. Very unfortunate event. There's two women in jail. You got Loretta Carr and her daughter. The Loretta Carr is in jail because her daughter told the police that Loretta did it. Okay. We're not so sure about that. The daughter was in jail in Pennsylvania for other charges, stealing and other things. And the police drove up from Alabama to go talk to her.
Gotcha.
And they said they questioned her for 12 hours or something. I don't know. It was a long time.
You can get lies out of people once you question them for too long, too.
Interrogation, right?
Right, yeah.
Now, also, it's alleged that now nobody will let anybody see this, but they won't let us see the daughter's transcript from the interrogation. But apparently she asked for a lawyer about 5 times during the thing. So talking stops after that point until a lawyer gets involved.
Right. Or you're going to ruin a whole case.
Going to ruin a whole case. But it's been a while. Loretta is in jail in DeKalb County and her daughter's in jail in Cherokee County. Just keeping them separated, obviously. And the only evidence that connects Loretta to the case is the daughter's testimony. And there's another girl's testimony that she supposedly was there and helped them. Her name is Angel. We actually found her Friday night in Chattanooga. Our new investigator found her, and we got her contact information. She was at work, so she asked if we talked to her outside of work. So we're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to make contact with her today and see what all she has to say about how this went down. But yeah, so it's a pretty interesting case. The Loretta's husband, immediately, if you get to pull the court transcripts from the first hearing, he pled the fifth on everything. Did you beat Loretta? Plead the fifth.
Oh my goodness.
Did you coerce Loretta into doing this? Plead the fifth. Did you coerce Loretta's daughter into doing this? Plead the fifth. So it's pretty fishy. What do you think? It's another smelly one, Victoria.
So smelly. It really is. And to rely only on the daughter's word with no physical evidence is insane.
Right.
He's being held without bond.
Yes.
That's insane.
Capital murder. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's interesting because the lead investigator that was on this case, I'm not going to say any names, he had to take a leave of absence from the county sheriff's department for drug addiction. The young lady that was murdered was a known drug dealer in the area. Suspected that she got her drugs from the police officer and Loretta's husband. That's just rumors going around.
Yeah.
We can't prove any of that yet.
Yeah.
But we're looking into it, and it's a very interesting case. There's a kind of a web of lies going around and misinformation going around. If you look online, Loretta's been, of course, she's been tried by public on TikTok and everything else. But my personal opinion, I don't think she did this. I think she's being framed, possibly by her husband, possibly by her daughter. Now, her husband was having an affair with the young lady that was killed. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So that was known, and Loretta was getting ready to move out of the house.
Yeah.
She was done with it and was moving out. So yeah, of course, a woman scorned is the obvious thing. Now, I've met Loretta in person. She's not a big lady. She's kind of small. And they're saying she forced this woman up the trail and pushed her by herself and all these things.
It's a lot of work. I've been to Little River Canyon a lot, hiking it, and
it's rugged terrain, man.
Yeah.
It's not an easy trail.
Strong to go through it.
It's not an easy trail. If you go to Little River Canyon, it's not like, hey, we're strolling down the path.
You got steep.
You get rocks, you got to maneuver, all these things. So it's not an easy trail. Bear Grylls went there and did a survival show.
Did he really?
Yeah, one of his old shows he did.
I did not know that. That's so cool.
And he did it in the summer, which in Alabama with the undergrowth and the heat, it adds another. He was talking about how hot it was. So it is hot, and the undergrowth is awful once you get off the trail in Alabama.
I got to watch that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll try to find it and send it over to you. But what do you think about this case, Victoria?
I just always, when I talk to you, blows my mind that these people are locked up with no physical evidence to get you in there.
Right.
It's just all based off of just words.
Right. Now, I think in the first part, I said we're going to talk about Jared-O.
Yeah.
I did. So we can skip back and forth. I got caught up on Loretta. I was reading the article here. But Jared-O is another one. He's locked up without any physical evidence too.
Yes, for
All
a
right.
long time
He's been in almost 20 years now. All right.
Jesus.
Zero physical evidence tying him to a drive-by. The only evidence they have is testimonies where it shows that they lied on the stand.
Mhm.
I got an interview with a guy that showed that he lied to police,
Mhm.
and that's what he's in prison for the rest of his life, on a drive-by. Okay.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
just makes me mad. But
Yeah, physical evidence is important, especially when you're talking murder. So we're going to take we're either going to try them for a capital crime, which means they get the death penalty,
Mhm.
or we're going to lock them away forever, take away their civil rights
Mhm.
as to exist as an American, right?
Right.
Big deal in the United
Huge
States.
deal.
And there's got to be a lot of evidence and a good case to do that, supposedly.
Right.
I've given you 3 examples today where people's rights, they're going to go to jail or get the death penalty because of hearsay, of somebody said something, so we're going to
Just take that
and run with it. There's no evidence, fingerprints, DNA. Now, if there's DNA at the crime scene, let's talk about Loretta Carr's case. So if they found DNA where she'd maybe touched the article of clothing, a belt or something, they could pull a fingerprint. Yeah. All right. That makes it look like she's likely did it.
Yeah.
Antonio Gerardo, gunshot residue would have been nice, showing that he'd shot a gun that day.
But they've lost that report.
Lost the
somehow.
report. The case in Georgia we talked about earlier. You say there's child porn on the phone, but where's the child porn on the phone?
Yeah, it's a report with a whole bunch of it, but the device has none.
Right.
What are y'all doing?
What? Yeah, where do we get that? So you can see where this type of evidence, where lack of physical evidence can cause trouble. And that's where we come in. We go out and start asking questions. And yes, the DA's office and the police departments don't like us very much.
Yeah.
Can they get over it?
Yeah.
They can.
They
All right.
sure can.
They can get over it. I'm surprised I haven't been arrested on some false charges because of that.
Yeah,
to get me
I'm
off the street.
surprised you don't get in more trouble
Yeah.
than you do. Yeah.
I don't really
Not
do.
that you're doing illegal stuff, but like just because they don't like you.
Outside of my work, though, I'm pretty boring.
Yeah.
I don't much leave here.
You're not boring. You have an interesting farm life, but yeah.
Yeah. But we don't go out, and I'm not a big party guy.
No.
I don't do none of that stuff. We go to church and the farm. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
It's a good life.
it's not bad. Say.
Yeah.
Anyways, so physical evidence. So let's get back to Gerardo a little bit. The only witnesses they have are people that said that they think they saw him there,
Mhm.
and they were allowed to testify in front of the jury, talking about a guy with plants in his head. What are those? I don't have them.
The
Let's see.
dreads.
I don't have dreadlocks, y'all. But anyways, I got a bald head.
Baldy.
I guess plants are dreadlocks that are cut short,
Yes.
and they're little nubs that stick up. And they said this guy had them. Gerardo had those. But if you look at pictures of Gerardo throughout his life, he's always had a military style haircut. Never had those plants or dreadlocks or long hair. He always had a fade, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
Right. Gunshot residue test gone, missing. They can't find it. The main witness they got is a guy that we think did it.
Mhm.
He said that Gerardo did it on the stand. He was in prison for something else already
Right.
when he testified against him. And they did this in front of a jury, and the jury said our guy was guilty. Now, what's manipulated in front of the jury can be what's presented. The jury they only have what's presented to them.
Yes.
They don't have anything else, right? So that can cause problems when you're starting to prosecute people, right? Again, I want a legal professional to come on board here with us one day.
That'd be so cool.
I'm a layperson in legal. I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
But
even the guy who got shot was like, the guy had dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Like, how are we're taking the actual victim and he's saying it's not this guy.
Right. Yeah.
It's not Antonio.
No.
Okay, that should be enough, right?
Right. It should be. It should be enough to go look somewhere else.
Yeah.
The problem with a lot of the small town departments around here is they get a person in mind and they stop investigating. Mm-hmm. I get it. They have limited resources and they can't usually continue on. They got their normal policing with the domestics and car crashes and everything else, and they have to go do other policing in these major crimes. I just don't think they're equipped for it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I've dealt with larger departments, the state and like Huntsville and Birmingham. Mm-hmm. Now they have the manpower to go out and keep investigating, and they do.
Yeah.
I've dealt with them, and they're more detailed investigations, I guess you'd say.
Smaller county, the harder it is to get.
Yeah, you might have one investigator that's qualified.
Yeah,
and they might have 20 cases on their docket.
Yeah,
on their plate, and they find somebody they think did it, and they build their story to fit the criminal. All right. It should be the opposite.
It
The
should.
evidence should point to the criminal, right?
Mhm.
All right. So you shouldn't have to create evidence and manipulate it to point to a person. So,
Yeah, no.
okay. Yeah, we got several criminal cases we could get into. Not today. I mean, we'll spread them out over other time, but these are
Yeah.
three that kind of bother me a little bit. I think about it, how the flimsy evidence these people are locked up on. They all had appointed lawyers from the state to start with.
Yeah.
And the appointed lawyer, now remember, they work for the DA.
Yes.
So they're going to try to get you to make some kind of deal.
Deals.
And if you don't make the deal, they're not going to work as hard as somebody that would. I get it. Criminal lawyers that you pay them,
Yeah.
they're expensive.
Yeah.
But I would be mortgaging the house, getting loans, whatever, to get me a paid lawyer.
I would too.
Yeah.
Just watching like on YouTube and TikTok lawyers talking, it's like you need someone with experience. Some of these new lawyers that are just now getting out, like they really don't even know how to submit evidence into a courtroom.
Right.
You want someone that has been through a case like yours and knows what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Or worked under somebody that's trained them up and whatever.
Yes.
There's a smoker's cough.
Ooh, that was
back.
rough.
Victoria's been sick, y'all.
Yes.
But yeah, that's three cases I like talking about with people if they want to hear it. And if you have comments, we'd like to see them. We want people to get interactive on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, when we put these on there.
If you're a lawyer, not even in the state of Alabama, but we could do like a FaceTime. Or
We could
like
put you on, get you on
Meet
here
or
to
something.
tell how stupid I am when it comes to law. I don't care.
Correct, Mackie.
Right. And we will get into that. But yeah, that's all we got for today. We're going to get back into some more domestic stuff and maybe some corporate investigations a little bit later. But yeah, we'll get into that and we'll see you next time.